Okay, so welcome to the TCS preparation classes. Today we'll begin with operator concept. So overall weightage of programming is you may expect 10 questions in programming logic section. Okay, and roughly you will get 15 minutes for that. And in coding round you will get two questions, two programming questions. Okay, first one will be easy one, and for that you may get around 10 minutes, and second one will be little bit harder, and for that you will get around 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, now target audience for this class is I expect that there are some civil, mechanical and electrical students also. Okay, so this class will be very elementary for the CS students. Okay, but for other students also we expect some basic programming knowledge. Okay, so we cannot start from the scratch. Okay, so you should know basic concepts of programming. Okay, so what is program? So when we are given with any problem statement, what we do, first we find out a step by step solution for that problem. Okay, and during a programming we convert that step by step solution in the form of a program. Okay, so we write a set of instructions for that problem statement. That set of instruction is known as a program. Okay, and often that program involves calculations and decisions. Okay, and for such activities we need operators. For example, if you consider a task of finding area of a circle, so this will be our main expression. Okay, now this expression is involving two operators here, equal to symbol and this multiplication symbol. Okay, so these are the operators. Okay, and here this 3.14 is a floating point constant, and you may be knowing what is floating point constant. If a number has a decimal point, that is known as a floating point number, right? And here area and r are the variables. Okay, so the operators actually operates on operands. Okay, so here area, 3.14, r, these are the operands. Okay, and this equals to and multiplications are the operators. Okay, so now here we have two operators. Okay, so now in order to break a tie between this operator, every operator has a priority. Okay, so this expression will be evaluated first, that is 3.14 into r into r. The result of that expression will be then assigned to the area. Okay, so remember every operator will have its respective priority. Okay, now let us see some of the common mistakes that we do during programming. So when we write a program, this instruction is legal, that is z equals to k into l. But in mathematics we have a habit of writing expression in this way also. Okay, so this expression is illegal in programming. Okay, so there will be always one variable on the left side of the assignment operator. Second illegal expressions are z equals to r square. Actually we don't have such operator in programming. Okay, so we cannot write such expression. Even we cannot write such expression, that is z equals to a by b. We don't have such operator. Okay, so the legal versions of these expressions are z equals to r into r or z equals to a divided by b. So we have this operator in C or any other language. Okay, no operator is assumed to be present. Okay, so in mathematics we often drops the multiplication symbol. Okay, so these are perfectly fine in mathematics, but it is illegal in programming. Okay, so no operator is assumed to be present. The correct version of this expression is a equals to c into d into b into this bracket. Even you have to specify multiplication between this b and this bracket. Okay, so no operator is assumed to be present. These are some additional examples. Okay, so here we have in algebraic expression, and these are the valid C expression. We don't have this multiplication symbol in any language. Okay, rather we use this multiplication symbol, asterisk symbol for multiplication. Okay, so now as you can see here, there is no need to put brackets here. Okay, so anyway that a into b will be evaluated first, then C into D will be evaluated, and then subtraction will be performed, because multiplication has higher priority as compared to minus symbol. Now here this multiplication is not present, okay, so we have to put when you write a C expression. Now in this fourth example, okay, so if I forgot to put this bracket, what will happen? In the denominator, if I forget to put a bracket, then what will be the result? This first bracket will be considered, this D will divide on this only this D will divide this first bracket, and E will be considered outside of that, okay, so it will be like this. So if I forget to put this bracket, what will happen? So this plus E will be considered like this, okay. So you have to consider the importance of this parenthesis, okay. Moving forward, now when we talk about any operator, you have to consider two aspects regarding operators, that is precedence and associativity. Now every operator will have its corresponding precedence and its associativity. So what is precedence? The precedence of operator determines which operator is executed first. Now consider this expression. So here we have total 3 operators: assignment operator, minus operator, and multiplication operator. Now which part to be executed first? Whether to do 5 minus 17 or 17 multiplication 7 multiplied by 6. Okay, now that tie will be broken by precedence. Okay, now multiplication has higher priority as compared to minus and equals to. That's why we will perform 7 into 6 first, and then we will subtract that from 5, okay, and that value will be assigned to x. Okay, so every operator will have its corresponding precedence. Now second property is associativity. Now that can be explained by these 4 examples. Okay, so now here we have 4 expression. First one is a equals to 3 plus 4 plus 5. Now whether to perform this 3 plus 4 first or 4 plus 5. Okay, so we will first execute 3 plus 4 first. So it will be 7 plus 5, that is 12. Now what if we execute 4 plus 5 first? So it will be 9, then 3 plus 9 will be 12. So anyway we are getting 12. Okay, now what about second example? If we execute 3 plus 4 plus first, then it will be 7 minus 5, so we will get 2 result. Now what if we execute 4 minus 5 first? It will be minus 1. So 3 minus 1 will be 2. Again we are getting the same result, no problem. Now in this example, if we execute this first, so it will be 40 divided by 5. Okay, so it will be 8. What if we execute 20 divided by 5 first? So it will be 4, and 2 multiplied by 4, again no problem. So we are getting the same result. Now what about this example? So if we execute 20 divided by 5, so we'll get 4. 4 into 2 will be 8. Okay, and what if we execute this first? So it will be 5 into 2, that is 10, and 20 divided by 10 will be 2. So now in this example, so the order of execution matters. Okay, so that decision will be taken care by associativity of the operator. So it determines the direction in which an expression is evaluated. So whether to evaluate from left to right or from right to left, that will be governed by the associativity of the operator. Okay, so now in the fourth example, so we have 20 divided by 5 multiplied by 2. So here we have, let me erase this. So here we have total 3 operators, that is assignment operator, division operator, and multiplication operator. Okay, so now division and multiplication share same priority. Okay, now whether to execute first expression first or second one, that will be governed by associativity. Okay, so now the associativity of the division is from left to right, and that of multiplication is also from left to right. Okay, so we have to go from left to right. So 20 divided by 5 will be executed first, that is 4 multiplied by 2, that is 8. Okay, so result of this expression is 8. Okay, so that is regarding associativity. Okay, so you will evaluate any expression based on these properties, precedence and associativity. Now there are multiple categories of operators, so we'll start with arithmetic operators. Okay, so it performs arithmetic operation. So we have total 5 operators for arithmetics. Now we are talking about C language. Okay, later on we'll talk about Python language. So for multiplication we have this asterisk symbol, for division we have this slash symbol, and this is modular division symbol. This percent symbol represents modular division. Okay, so what is this modular division? It gives the remainder of the operation. Okay, so when we have, let's say 15 modular division, let's say 3, sorry, not 3, consider 4. Okay, so this modular division gives remainder of the operation. Okay, so you divide 15 by 4. Okay, ultimately you will get 3 as a remainder. Okay, so this modular operator will return 3 as the result. Okay, so 15 modular division 4 will result in 3. Okay, so that is regarding modular division. Then we have addition and subtraction. Now this plus and minus performs 2 operations. They are binary addition and subtraction, and we have unary versions also. Okay, for example, if you have expression like a equals to minus 5 plus 2. Now this minus is a unary minus. Okay, so what is unary and binary? Now consider this minus. Now this minus is working on 5. Okay, so we have only one operand. Okay, such operators are known as unary operators. Okay, now this plus is working on 2 operands, that is minus 5 and 2. Okay, so this is known as a binary operator. Okay, so we have 2 versions of plus and minus, that is binary plus, binary minus, and unary plus and unary minus. Okay, now the priorities are, along one row they have equal priority. Okay, so multiplication, division and modular division share same priority, whereas plus and minus share same priority. Okay, so and we have assignment operator. Actually assignment operator is not a arithmetic operator, but we have seen that, that's why I have included that. Assignment operator will have the least priority. Okay, after evaluation of entire expression, that value will be assigned to the variable on the left side. Okay, so always assignment operator will have the least priority. These are one example. So here it is very straightforward. Okay, so a plus b, the value of a is 9, b value of 4 is, sorry, value of b is 4, so 9 plus 4, that is 13. So here 13 is printed. Okay, a minus b, that is 5. Okay, everything is straightforward, but here we have something to discuss. So a divided by b, a value of a is 9, b is 4, so 9 divided by 4. So we expect some fractional value, but we are getting result 2. So what is happening there? So this is a peculiarity of a C. So here we have integer 9 and integer 4. Okay, so in C, remember, integer divided by integer will be always integer. Okay, so the result is 2 point something. Okay, as it is integer by integer, that fractional part will be lost. Okay, so we will get a pure integer number as a result. Okay, that's why we are getting 2 here. Okay, so what you have to do, when in C, when we have integer divided by integer, you do the normal calculation. Okay, even if you get 2.8, you just discard the fractional value, fractional part. Okay, so that will be the result. And similarly, remainder operator gives remainder of the division. Okay, so it is 9 divided by 4, so you will get, sorry, 9 divided by 4, remainder will be 1. Okay, so this is regarding arithmetic operator. So remember their precedence. So multiplication, division and modular division share same priority. Okay, and their associativity is from left to right. Now let us talk about implicit conversion. As discussed, integer divided by integer will be always integer, so we will get 2. Now here we have a combination of floating point number and integer. So what will happen here? So this integer will be promoted to float. Okay, so you will get 2.0, then operation will be performed. So it will be 5.0 divided by 2.0, then you will get 2.5. Okay, so here also this 5 will be promoted to 5.0. Okay, and then you will get this result. Okay, so remember, when we have integer by integer, you will get integer, otherwise you will get floating point result. Here also it will be 0 point something. Okay, but as it is integer by integer, you will get pure integer number. Okay, now here what is happening, this is type conversion in assignment. Okay, so here this k is integer, okay, and a is floating point number. So what will happen here? So now we are seeing all the possible combinations here. So first we are having integer by integer. Okay, so the result will be obviously integer. Okay, so we are getting 0 here. Okay, here we have float point and integer point number. Okay, so it will be 9 will be promoted to 9.0, so it will be 2.0 divided by 9.0. Okay, so we will get some fractional result, but as k is integer, during that assignment that fractional part will be lost. Okay, so you will get 0.2 something. Okay, that fractional part will be lost during that assignment operation. Okay, again same is true with this this expression and this expression. Here also what is happening, so as this is integer by integer, you will get 4, and that 4 will be assigned to this k. This is floating point divided by integer. Okay, so result will be some floating point number, but during the assignment that fractional part will be lost. Okay, same is true for these two examples also. Here also what is happening, now here we have integer by integer. Okay, so the result will be 0. Okay, now 0 is assigned to the floating point number. This a is a floating point number, so this 0 will be promoted to the floating point number. That's why we are getting 0.0. Okay, so actual result of this operation is 0 only. Okay, now 0 is assigned to the floating point variable, so this integer value is promoted to the floating point number. That's why we are getting 0.0. So in the option you may find 0 as the answer, as the option, and 0.0 as the answer. Okay, so the 0.0 is more correct. Now here we have floating point divided by integer, so you will get a fractional result, and that fractional result is getting assigned to the floating point variable, so it will accept the entire number. Okay, same is true for this example also. So again here we have a integer by integer, so result will be integer only, and that is assigned to the floating point variable, so it will be promoted to the floating point variable, so you will get 4.0. Okay, and similarly for this example also. All these examples are taken from Latest C book. Okay, so you can, for more explanation you can refer Latest C book. Now we will discuss modular division operator. Now it is only defined for integers, so if it is applied on floating point number, you will get an error. Okay, so it is defined only for integers. Okay, and sign of the result will be always the sign of the numerator. Okay, so what you have to do, if the negative numbers are involved during the modular division operation, okay, so you just ignore that negative symbol, negative operator, negative sign. Okay, you do the division, you find out the remainder, and you just assign the sign of the numerator to the sign of the result. Okay, so here we have -5 modular division 2. Okay, so just ignore this negative sign, you perform the division, so it will, remainder will be 1, and you assign the sign of the numerator to the sign of the result. So here we have 5 modular division -2, ignore the minus sign, result is 1, you assign the sign of the numerator, so where here numerator is 5, sign is plus, so you assign that. Okay, so remember, sign of the result will be always sign of the numerator. Now exponentiation operator. Okay, so what do you mean by exponentiation? Means we want to find, let's say, 3 raised to power 2. Okay, so this is the exponentiation operator. Okay, so actually there is no exponentiation operator in C. Okay, unlike other high level programming languages, in Python we have double asterisk symbol as the exponentiation operator. In R we have this cap symbol, or it also supports this symbol. In VB script we have cap symbol for exponentiation. Okay, so in Python we would write this expression in order to get 3 raised to power 2, the square of 3. We will write this expression in R in order to get 3 raised to power 2. Okay, so in C what we have to do, we have to use power function. Okay, so it is defined in mat.h, so we include that. Okay, and we execute this function, we use this function. Okay, so it accepts two parameter. This is the number and this is the exponent. Okay, so in order to achieve in order to find 3 raised to power 2, in C we will write this expression. Okay, so this is regarding exponentiation operator. Now what you have to do, you try this example, you find the final value of this expression. Okay, and you write you post your answer in the comment section. You may expect such complicated expression during aptitude, technical aptitude. Okay, so let us solve this. Okay, so what will happen, so we have to go, so all the arithmetic operator has associative from left to right, so we have to go from left to right. Okay, so here we have multiplication and division, they are the highest priority terms. Okay, so we have to go from left to right. So first this multiplication will be evaluated, that is 6. Okay, then we have, so this we have to replace with 6. Okay, then we have division. Okay, now as this is integer by integer, so the result will be integer, so it will be only 1. Okay, so then we have plus and division has the higher priority, so this is done first. Okay, so we will have 1 here. Okay, then we have division here, so the result of this one would be 0. Okay, so then we have this plus. Okay, so it will be 2. Okay, then this addition will be performed, so we will get 10. Okay, then we have this symbol, minus symbol. Okay, so this is performed, that is 8, and then finally 8 plus 0 will be 8. Okay, so the final result of this expression is 8. Let me show you the first original expression. So this was the expression. Okay, so in that way you have to proceed. At every step you have to perform only one operation. Okay, and you have to decide the priority and the associativity of the operator. Okay, so now you can try this expression, take 2 minutes and try to solve this problem. Now I expect the correct result for this expression. Okay, so how to evaluate this? Okay, so now here division, multiplication and modular division are the highest priority terms. So this is executed first. So 3 divided by 2, it is integer divided by integer, so result will be integer. Then we have multiplication. Okay, so 1 multiplied by 4 will be 4. Then we have modular division. What is the working of modular division? It gives you remainder. So 3 divided by 8. Okay, so division will be of 0. Okay, so remainder is 3 only, so you will get 3 as a result. Okay, then finally this addition will be performed, that is 7, and 7 plus 3 will be 10. Okay, so this is the result of this expression. As k is float variable, this 10 will be promoted to floating point number, so actual result is k equals to 10.0. Okay, so the type of the left hand side doesn't matter. First you have to evaluate the right part. Okay, then you have to assign that value, that result, to the left part. Okay, if k is integer, the result will be only 10. Okay, so this is regarding arithmetic operator. Let us see relational operator. Second category is relational operator. So relational operators are used to find the relationship between the operands. Okay, so now we have these 6 types of relational operator. First one is the equal to. Okay, so it will return true if x equals to y. Okay, so the result of a relational operator will be 1 or 0. 1 if the expression is true, 0 if the result is false. Okay, so if x is 5 and y is 5, so x equals to 5 will return 1. Okay, this is not equals to symbol, exclamatory sign and equal to. Okay, so it is, and remember you should not give a space between these two. Okay, so it is means it is a combination of two characters. Okay, so this is not equals to symbol, this is less than operator, this is greater than operator, this is less than equals to operator, and this is greater than equals to operator. Okay, so now here the priorities are, this bottom 4 shares same priority. Okay, they share same priority, and equals to and not equals to shares same priority. This is one example. Okay, so here we have 5 equals to 3. Okay, so result will be 0. 5 greater than 3, the result will be 1. 5 is greater than 3, right? It is true, so it will return 1. 5 less than 3, it will return 0. 5 not equals to 3, yes, 5 is not equals to 3, so it will return 1. 5 greater than equals to 3, yes, it will return 1. 5 less than equals to 3, it will return 0. Okay, because it is false. So this is regarding relational operator. Then we have logical operators. Okay, so sometimes you want to combine multiple conditions. For example, if you want to grade a student as per their his achieve mark. For example, if he scores more than 90, he would get A grade. If he scores between 80 to 90, he will get B grade. Then how to achieve that? For such cases, we use combination of relational operator and logical operator. Okay, so what is our condition? If marks is between 80 to 90, he will get B grade. Okay, so what will be our condition? So if M greater than 80, okay, and there will be and symbol, and if M is below 90, then he will get a B grade. Okay, so this is one condition, this is another condition. Okay, if both satisfied, then we have to give grade B, right? So in such cases we use these logical operators. Okay, so here we are using AND because both conditions should be satisfied. His marks should be greater than 80 and his marks should be below 90. Okay, so here you have to use logical AND. Okay, so this is logical AND, this is logical OR. Okay, so what will happen in logical AND? If both the conditions are true, then only it will be true, otherwise it will be false. In case of a logical OR, what will happen? If any one of the condition is true, the result will be true. Okay, so if we replace this AND with OR, what will happen? If M is greater than 80, let's say he scores 95. Okay, so 95 greater than 80, yes, true, so it will return 1. Okay, and M is 95 less than 90, false. Okay, so here we have 1 or 0, the result will be 1. Okay, so this is regarding logical OR. Okay, so in logical AND, all the condition should be true, then only the result will be true. In logical OR, if all the conditions are false, then only the result will be false. And logical NOT, it acts like a negation. Okay, so if we have consider 5 greater than 3, this is true, right? And if we write a negation operator before that, okay, so what will happen? 5 greater than 3, it is true, right? So this negation operator will make it false, so final result will be false. Okay, so it acts like a negation. Okay, so it will convert true to false and false to true. Okay, so this is regarding logical operator. Now here the negation operator has the highest precedence, then logical AND, then logical OR. Okay. Okay, so these are some examples. So here we have C equals to 5 and D equals to 2. Okay, so C equals to 5, yes, it is true, right? And D greater than 5, D, the value of D is 2. 2 greater than 5, it is false, right? So we have true and false, so result will be false. Here we have c equals to 5 and d equals to 2. Put the value in this expression. So 5 equals to 5, yes, true, and d, which is 2, 2 greater than 5, false. So we have true or false, so result will be true. Here we have c equals to 5. Okay, so whether c equals to 5, yes, true. Okay, this is our relational operator, right? So it always return true or false, right? So it will return true. Okay, negation of that will be false. Okay, so you will get 0. 0 represents false, 1 represents true. Okay, so this is regarding logical operator. So remember, these logical operators are used to combine two conditions. This is one condition and this is another condition. Then we have last category, that is assignment operator. Okay, so we have seen this assignment operator. Okay, so to the left side of the assignment operator there will be always a single variable. Okay, so what is the working of assignment operator? The expression on the right side of that will be evaluated first, and the result of that will be assigned to the variable on the left side. Okay, so what we can have any expression on the right side of the equal to symbol. Okay, and these operators are known as compound assignment operator. These are assignment operators only, but variation of that. Okay, so these are known as compound assignment operator. Okay, so if you find an expression like this, it is nothing but it is equivalent to this expression. Okay, so it is actually a shorthand of that. Okay, so we don't write a twice. Okay, so here we have a twice. Okay, instead of that we write like this. Okay, so how to read this expression? You add b to a, you read like that. Okay, so it is like add b to a, subtract b from a, multiply b to a, like that. Okay, so when we have a same symbol on the left side and the right side of the equal to symbol, you can use this compound assignment operator. Okay, so these are the shorthand operator. Okay, so for that you just put this operator before the equal to symbol. Okay, and you will get a compound assignment operator. But the condition is you should have the same variable on the left side and the right side of the equal to symbol. Okay, so for the arithmetic operator we have compound assignment operator. Then there is conditional operator. Okay, you may have studied in C language. This is question mark and colon symbol. Okay, this is similar to the if else condition, if else statement, and actually it is known as a shorthand of if else statement. Okay, so this is the syntax. So here we have, actually this is conditional operator. So here we have question mark and colon. Okay, so here we have, so this operator has 3 operands. Okay, that's why this operator is also known as ternary operator. Till now we have seen 2 types of operators, that is unary operator and binary operator. This is the only ternary operator. Okay, there is only one ternary operator which is known as conditional operator. So what is the working of this operator? So here one example is given. So n1's value is 5, n2's value is 10. Okay, so before question mark we will have condition. Okay, this is expression, this is known as true expression. If this condition is true, the value of this expression will be written. If this condition is false, the value of second expression will be written. Okay, so let us see this example. n1 is 5, n2 is 10. So 5 greater than 10, false, right? So this n2 value will be written. Okay, and this is written, and which is caught in max. Okay, so this value is will be assigned to max. Okay, so the max value will be 10. Okay, so this is regarding conditional operator. So what we have here, usually in expression 1 you will have a condition. If that condition is true, the value of expression 2 will be written. Okay, so if it is true, the value of expression 2 will be written. If this expression 1 is false, the value of expression 3 will be written. Okay, this is also known as a ternary operator. Why? Because we have 3 operands here. Okay, so actually this in this code we are trying to find maximum between two numbers. Now same can be achieved using if else statement. So what will be the if else equivalent code? So in next class you are going to study conditional statement. There you will study if else statement. So the equivalent code will be if n1 greater than n2, max will be n1, else max would be n2. Now instead of these 4 lines we are able to implement that logic in a single line. That's why it is known as a shorthand of if else statement. Okay, so when the logic is very simple we use conditional operator. Then we have increment and decrement operator. Okay, so we have this plus plus symbol and minus minus symbol. This is increment operator. Okay, so what is the working of increment operator? It increments the value of the variable by 1, and decrement operator decrements the value by 1. Okay, you usually see these operators in looping statements. Okay, in order to manipulate the counters, okay, loop counters, we use this increment and decrement. Okay, so now you may expect such complex expression involving increment and decrement operators like this. Okay, so now if the value of I is 5, you figure out the value of a and I after execution of this expression. You take 2 minutes and tell me the value of a and I after execution of this statement. You may get such questions based on increment and decrement. Okay, let me just clear one concept before this. When we apply increment operator after the variable, that is known as a post increment, and when we apply this increment operator before the variable, that is known as a pre increment. Okay, so what is the difference? So if I have a equals to b equals to I plus plus, and consider value of I is 5 only. Okay, so now I am applying increment operator after the variable, so this is post increment. So what will happen? The value of I will be assigned to b first. Okay, so b will get 5 value, and then after that assignment the value of I will be incremented. Okay, so after the execution I will be incremented to 6. Okay, so this is regarding post increment. What if we have like this plus plus I? This is known as b equals to sorry about this. Okay, so we have b equals to plus plus I. Now this is pre increment. Okay, pre means what? First, right? So you first increment the value of I, then you assign. Okay, so value of I is 5, so first it will be incremented, so I will become 6, and then it will be assigned to b. So in this case the value of b became 6. In this case the value of b was 5. Okay, so that's the difference. Now you try to solve this problem. Okay, so you tell me what is the value of I and a after the execution of this statement. Initially the value of I is 5. You put your answer in comment. Okay, so I am getting 6 and 11 as the answer. Okay, so first we will talk about the value of I. So here we are having two increment operators for I. So anyway the value of I will be 7. Okay, so there will be no doubt regarding the value of I, it would be 7. Okay, anyway whether it is post increment or pre increment, anyway it is going to increment by 1, right? So here we have two increment operators, so the value of I would be 7. Okay, what about a? So what is this? This is post increment. Okay, you increment the value of I after the execution of this statement. Okay, so this will get replaced by I only. Okay, then we have pre-increment. So first you increment the value of I, so I will become 6 and then you replace by that. Okay, so actually now what is the value of I? It is 6. So it is 6 plus 6, that is 12. So A will become 12. Okay, and the value of I will be 7. There will be no doubt regarding the value of I. Okay, it would be 7 only. Okay, the value of A will be 12. Let me execute this code. Okay, so I have this code here. Okay, the value of I is assigned to 5. I have the same expression and let me run. As you can see here, we have got 7 and 12. Result of the value of I is 7 and the value of A is 12. Okay, and if in the paper, if you see such results, A equals to sorry, and let's say C option is can't say. Okay, consider we have this as the first option, this as the second option, and C as the can't say option. You always choose C because this increment and decrement operator is totally compiler dependent. In the Turbo C, if you execute same code, you will get 11 as a result. Okay, so this execution of this post increment and pre increment, it is totally compiler dependent. Okay, so in the option, if there is can't say option or it is compiler dependent like this, you always select that one. Okay, so this is dev C++. Okay, it uses GCC compiler. Okay, so here we are getting 12 as the result. In Turbo C you would get 11 as a result. Okay, so this is regarding increment and decrement operator. Okay, so now we have seen actually means most of the operators. So this is the complete precedence table of C language. Okay, so here we have this brackets. Okay, it also represents a function expression. Okay, then array expression. In later lectures you are going to study array. Okay, this arrow represents a pointer to a structure. Okay, that will be covered later on. This dot symbol represents is used to get the element of the structure, that you will study later on. Then we have a unary minus, it has a higher precedence. Then we have increment and decrement. Okay, remember for this the associated is from right to left. Okay, so when we have -5, A equals to -5, this minus is a unary minus symbol. Okay, so the associativity is from right to left. Okay, so this minus is applied to this 5. Okay, so this is unary minus. Then we have seen increment and decrement. This is ones complement. This is bitwise operator. Negation symbol we have seen. This is address operator and value at address. Okay, let me show you the output of ampersand symbol. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? This is the address of. Okay, so when we declare any variable, a memory will be allocated to store its value. Okay, so this ampersand gives the address of that memory location. Okay, so let me add %d here. Okay, and we will see what is the address of A. First we'll compile. Okay, so this is the memory address of variable A. Okay, and this is value of address. This star represents value at that address. Okay, so what I can do, I can put a star here. So what will happen? So what I am trying to achieve here, I am trying to get the value at this address. So it would be the value of A only, right? So we should get a 12. Yes, we are getting a 12. So what is happening? ampersand symbol is giving me the address, and star is saying you give me the value at that address. Okay, so simply they will cancel each other. Okay, and you will get A. And this is there for multiplication also. Okay, that depends on the context. Okay, so when we don't have any variable on the left side of the star, it will be treated as a value of address. Okay, then we have typecast operator. Okay, then we have size of operator. So let me show you the result of size of. Size of gives the bytes, number of bytes required to store that variable. Okay, so now I will get number of bytes required to store A. So in GCC we require 4 bytes to store integer variable. A is integer, so we require 4 bytes. Okay, so size of operator gives me that. So let me compile. So I am getting 4 as a result. As you can see, 4. So size of operator gives size in bytes. Okay, then we have multiplication, division and modulus. Operators in one section share same priority. Okay, so this shares same priority. Then we have addition and subtraction. These are left shift and right shift. Okay, again these are bitwise operator. Let me show you one demo for this. Okay, so here now the value of I is 5. Okay, so what I am doing, I am left shifting that value by 1. Okay, so now this is bitwise operator. Okay, so what will be the binary equivalent of 5? It would be 101, right? And left shift by 1 means what? Left shift by 1 means what? This 3 digits will be shifted to the left by 1, and on the rightmost part 0 will be appended. Okay, now the integer equivalent of this number is 10, right? This was 5. Okay, they are left shifted by 1. Okay, on the rightmost vacant place 0 will be inserted. Okay, so now it is 10, right? Okay, so the value of A will be 10. Okay, if I run this, you will get 10. As you can see, you will get 10. Same is true for the right shift operator. Okay, so now if you right shift, so suppose we have 5, this is binary equivalent of 5. If you right shift, okay, so there will be loss. Okay, this rightmost part will get lost. Okay, then we have a relational operator. Then relational operator, yes, relational operator. Then we have this bitwise AND. Okay, if we have single ampersand, then it will be a bitwise AND. Okay, so if I have number like this and this is second number, if I apply bitwise AND operator, so now 1 and 0 will be 0, 0 and 1 will be 0, 1 and 1 will be 1. Okay, so result would be 4. Okay, so this is regarding bitwise AND, bitwise exclusive OR. And then we have logical AND operator, we have seen conditional operator, and finally we have assignment operator. Okay, so we have seen this compound assignment operator also. Okay, so the operators that we have seen are the important one. Okay, you need not to worry about the bitwise operator, they are very rarely used. Okay, now let us discuss operators in Python very briefly. Okay, so here we have, okay, so this is the priority. Okay, this is the highest priority operator. We have exponentiation operator in Python. Okay, so which is double asterisk mark. Okay, this is complement, just like a negation operator. These are unary plus and unary minus symbol. This operator is new. Okay, let us this is known as a floor division. Okay, so in C, what was the result of this expression? In C, it was integer divided by integer. Okay, so in C, the result of this expression was 1, but in Python the result of this expression will be 1.66667. Okay, so here that fractional part will not be lost. Okay, but what if we want this result? Okay, for that you can use this floor division symbol. Floor division means what? After getting the result, it will apply a floor operation. Floor operation means what? A floor value of any fractional value will be the largest integer, largest integer largest integer less than that number. Okay, for example, consider 2.6. Okay, so floor of that will be the largest integer less than this, so it will be 2, largest integer less than this value. Okay, so that division is known as floor division. Okay, so we have a normal division also. Okay, and we have floor division also. Okay, so this is regarding floor division. Let me show you the result of floor division. Okay, so here we have Python notebook. Okay, so a equals to 5 divided by 3. So this is our normal division. Okay, let me run this. Let me print the value of a. So I will get 1.667. Okay, and if I use 5 floor division 3. Okay, now floor division means what? You find the result. So this would be the result, and then floor operation on that. Okay, so it would be 1. So if I write a, I will get result as 1. Okay, so this is regarding floor division. Now you tell me what will be the result if I have minus here. Okay, so if I have minus here, so what would be the result? Is it minus 1 or minus 2? If I put minus here, what would be the result? It is minus 1.6667, right? Floor of that would be minus 2. Okay, so if I execute this, I will get minus 2. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so you do the normal division. The result was this one. The floor value of that is minus 2. What is the definition of flooring? Okay, it is the highest integer which is less than this value. Highest integer less than this value is minus 2. So this is the result of floor division. Okay. Then we have addition and subtraction. Relation operators are also same. Okay, so these are additional. Okay, so these two are additional because we have introduced exponentiation operator and floor division. So these are used for set operation, is not in and not in. Okay, and these are our logical operators. Okay, so instead of exclamation mark, so here we have not operator. Instead of double vertical lines, we have or operator, and instead of ampersand symbol, here we have and operator. Okay, English word and what is this is and is not? Okay, let us see. Okay, so let me add new line here. So if I use type function in order to get a type, so the type of a is integer. What is the type of a? It is integer type. Okay, so if I write is int, okay, so now I am checking whether the type of a is integer. Okay, so it will give me true as a result. Okay, so this is operator is used to check such conditions. Okay, this is one example. Okay, and if I say is not, okay, the result would be false. Okay, and what about in operator? Now in is a membership operator. Okay, so in Python you are going to study list. Okay, so let us define one list. Okay, list of numbers, let's say. Okay, and I want to check whether 2 is in this LST. Okay, I want to check whether, sorry, here it should be 2, whether 2 is present in LST, that I want to check. So it would return me true. If I say 4, it is not there, so it will result false. If I write not in, it would be true. 4 not in LST, yes, right? Okay, so this is regarding is and in operator. Okay, so for your practice, what I am going to do, I will share previously asked question based on the operators. Okay, 10 to 15 questions which are asked in TCS aptitude, that I will share through Sarthak. Okay, so you try those questions. Okay, so we'll stop here.